Hey, welcome back, man.
Hello.
Ign'ant Sports, episode 31.
Yeah, I was like, here with that episode 31.
Who you got for me today?
Sponsored by Reggie Miller. I was like, but not really. But if you want to sponsor, though, hey.
Yeah, Reggie Miller is like inadvertently one of my favorite players because I know that Ray Allen got the 3-ball from him, and when I first got I know we've talked about this before, but when I first got into the league, man, I loved the 3-ball. To me, it was like, I think the long shot was always cool. It's like, the Hail Mary, the sniper shot, the this, the that. It's just so pinpoint accurate. I always had a huge respect for it. So knowing that he was like the leader, before the current leaders, it was always mad respect.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say like you related to sniper shot. It's like this is the only time I can say I like sniper shot.
Mm-hmm. I went from playing Halo 3 to watching Boston basketball in 2010, and it was like, who's my guy? Ray Allen. My one question was literally, why don't people do this more often? And my friend's like, well, it's just more effective to drive to the rim and get that and one. I'm like, all right, but this looks way cooler.
All right. Yeah.
So I love how the league has turned into, man. Some people are like, I hate this, but for me, it's I love it.
I love it to a degree. Like I still feel like the overall is like, if it's not going down, and if you say you truly care about winning, then drive to the basket like old school, or make a pass to where you could at least get a mid jumper. Like you can still get that little long range, but it's just midway. Okay, like let's go for the W,
but if the shots are dropping, man, the shots are dropping. It's good to see now people are like, testing it out and taking the shots, because before the coaches wouldn't even allow it. Now it's like, all right, if you can make it happen, make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a threat. Like
I still got the Rondo page up on my screen.
I was thinking about that with Golden State. It was just like for every three they make, with every two threes they made, that's like an extra 2 points that they didn't have to really score. So it was like, it adds up.
And if you think about it too, like from a longevity perspective, like you drive to the rim, there's two things. One, it takes your cardio because you got to go further and you got to go all the way back to the other end to play defense. And then B, when you're driving, it's just more like effort. Like you're gonna get more banged up. That's when you like getting fouled is great for the N1, but it's taxing on your body.
Exactly. Going
up and down every time, like that up and down, like a 3 up and down is like this, but those dunks, you're up there, man. Even those big men, you got to still get up there 2-3 feet.
Exactly. So it's like,
but we'll get to Golden State, man. We'll get to Golden State. We got one more game to talk about first. We got a little recap action. Now, this was, I want to say, the winner of the losers, man, because like no one won this series. Like one team just didn't lose.
Yeah.
One team lost 4 games and one team didn't lose 4 games because no one won 4.
No.
This was probably the ugliest series I've ever seen. Probably the least happy I've been winning or having my team win.
Yeah. I would say this is definitely like ugly game 7s. Like you get to be in the game 7 category.
I wasn't even talking about the game. I was talking about the series as a whole. And getting to the game itself. Oh my god, bro.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah,
the whole thing was terrible.
Game 7, like game 7 in the series is just like both categories. It just be like,
No, you're right. Let's start from the back of that game, man. Because I don't know how much. Did you watch the whole thing or just the clips and highlights and all that?
The clips and highlights.
All right, so I'm not sure how much of it they showed because they usually only show the good stuff. Fourth quarter. Can I break this down by quarter when I go into these stats here? I don't think I can. Fourth quarter. I want to see Marcus Smart's fourth quarter stats, bro. He shot the ball 5 times our last 5 possessions, and he missed all 5. And it was just like, and he was taking some bad looks too. It was really, pretty sad. It was really sad how much we let them almost come back.
All right. Yeah, and it's just like I felt that way about when was it? Yeah, it probably was them when he had the ball and he got stripped. Yeah, he got stripped by who is the point guard? Victor. Right? I think that was Victor that stripped him twice towards the end of one of the previous games, and it was just like, why does this man still have the ball like in clutch moment? Like like lose the ball and lose the game with the ball being in Jalen or Tatum's hand. Like, it needs to only be in his hands if those two are hurt, out for whatever reason. Like,
Well, speaking of the two Jays, it just was another game to back up my point of I think that Jaylen Brown is the unsung hero of the Boston Celtics. Like everyone, like I get it. Jason Tatum 6'10". I get it. Like he can be, like I guess technically like Jordan mini if Kobe was Jordan mini and if he's mini Kobe. So, but Jaylen Brown every night is going to give you, for the most part, relatively consistent numbers. And in this game specifically, he goes 8 of 15, gives you 24 points. Tatum shoots the ball 6 more times and gets you 2 more points. So I'm not seeing, and we'll get to it in the next game too. I'd love to see it. You know, it's one of those like, prove me wrong. I can't wait to see it when it's, you know, take over the league Tatum time. But for me, Jaylen is my preferred J.
I felt it. I won't be in either one, but yeah, I just feel like I feel like there's been the 55-45 Jason over Jaylen.
Nah, man, it's like 80-20 Jason. Everyone thinks Tatum is the man, and it's like, I get it, you know, his ceiling is definitely higher, but man, it's a roller coaster, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, like I think like exactly last episode, like we said, like he's still all-star mode. Like he's no Jimmy with the 35 over here. Like, you know, no superstar.
No. I mean, but to be fair, what's Jimmy? He's like 30 something, 8 years older, 6 years older, 7 years older than Tatum. So like he's got that experience. He's a veteran. Whereas, you know, my team is still relatively young overall. You know, like you got one experienced player in Horford, and I think that's literally it. Everyone else is probably under 25, so that's where I give the difference between Jimmy and Jason. But in terms of our 1 and 2, it's like I will always accept that Jaylen will be the 2, and that's almost like why he can thrive as the 2. But I don't think the differences between our 1 and our 2 is as great as a lot of people do.
Oh yeah, and I always felt that way. Like that's when I learned. I was just like, yeah, like it seemed like it could be whichever one who's feeling, you know, or has the hot hand.
It was like early Russ KD. Like you never really, like they didn't quite separate until KD left. Exactly. Because Russ could always go off, and like Russ was his best, you know, when he had KD and he had Ibaka and he had like those random role players.
Yeah, and Harden.
No, I was thinking past that because that's too golden era. I was thinking like
okay.
Yeah, like Nick Collison era.
Yeah.
Like just not a great person, but just like you can pass to him down low and he can get you a quick little bucket.
Yeah, like he was another. I think I would say he probably was a better Anderson. Anderson,
Yep.
Because he, at least on the offensive, like, yeah, just a little bit more. But other than that, yeah. Like,
so,
you love those role players.
So, yeah, this game was exactly how, you know, the series was as a whole, and kind of how you said in the beginning. It was tough. It was tough. It was ugly, and it didn't make anyone feel really good about it.
Nope.
The only thing that I guess I felt good, honestly, about was the fact that the Western Conference series didn't seem anywhere near as physical, so I just felt like the Boston would have the physical edge, and I was hoping that because they matched up better physically against Miami than they did the Bucks, like going into Golden State, I was like, well, I just want to see how they look compared to, you know, both teams on the floor, because the Bucks were like this and the Celtics were like this, and then Miami was like this, and I was just hoping the Golden State was like closer to this than they were to like this.
Right.
Because I kind of don't really know how big Draymond is until I get him next to Al Horford. And I don't really know how big Wiggins is until I get him next to, you know, Derek White and Grant Williams. Like, who really does match up against who?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I can tell you, yeah. As much as I've seen Andrew Wiggins, he definitely has the height on those guys that you named. So it would be like a Jason Tatum, it would be the closest, or Brown. Because Horford is just, Horford probably could keep up, but.
Or was Horford? I guess Horford would be for their new guy Looney, right?
Yeah,
probably a better matchup down
Draymond, low. You know, whenever whichever end.
Well, if we can get Robert Williams on the floor, then he can guard the whole damn roster.
Exactly. So.
But I'm not sure. Like, and I only heard about this not too long ago. But I'm not sure if you heard. But Boston had not only all 5 of their starters get a vote for Defensive Player of the Year, but as well as I forget who the 6th man was that got a vote as well. Probably Grant Williams, if I had to guess. So I don't know how many times that's happened before.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely didn't hear that, but that's interesting.
So it's like not only did Smart get it, but it's like if Robert Williams played more games, he probably would have got it. And then
Possibly.
we've also got everyone else who's contributing.
I mean, which
So,
you love to see.
Yeah, so like that's what we've been saying, man. We've been saying that since before the postseason started in the NFL.
Yep. So we shall see, because the defense got y'all good enough to get that win and get to the game 1.
Yep. I guess this now would probably be the appropriate time to mention, because this would be our the end of our bets for the game. You went 0-1, right? And I went 1-1. I think that's what it was. But the main gist we kind of concluded to off the air is I kind of put it within we'll call it dagger distance. Like that might have been the final to the NBA bet we got for the year.
Yes, we say that's probably the nail in the coffin. I was already a good double digits away.
Yep, almost getting into the 30s, but we it was a good run. I feel like learning the over under and all that stuff, this year was very fun. So like we've mentioned, we'll see how that goes in NFL. But
in the NFL, yeah, definitely, because it's gonna be different.
It's cool though. At least we each got, so in our kind of like beginning, call it our trial run of the NFL, and then our trial run of the NBA. We split the difference, and now when we start for real next year, we can have some real pride behind it all, because we both went 1-1 in the what you call it, the rookie round, the beginning phase. Because we both really, I have more experience in betting overall. But it seemed like you knew basketball a little bit more coming into it, so that kind of like made it, help balance it out a little bit. And now we're pretty much on even playing field, I feel like. So it'll be good when we start up again in the preseason for NFL.
Yes.
So let's jump into the big game Thursday night. The Connecticut Sun played the Las Vegas Aces. Connecticut Sun beat them 97-90. I know you're. It was just funny because I was checking WNBA and I was like, man, they really got to play on the same night of Game 1 of the NBA Finals. You can't just NBA. You can't shift because I know that they're associated. You can't just shift your league a little bit. Like, why you over? It was the only game that played that night too. So
I wondered. I was like, wonder if
WNBA game. And it's funny too, man. Is their game started an hour later. I was watching that night, and I was like, man, they really are you trying to get your league to succeed or not? Because if you're trying to get the promote the ladies, like don't put them on an hour after the men's game starts, when we know that it's gonna attract at least 20 million eyeballs, or pairs of eyeballs, I should say. Yeah. But quick shout out, Connecticut does win by 7 points. So.
Yeah, you should start it like immediately after, like we do in most games.
Yeah, or I would just start it before, or this or that. Oh, yeah, look at that! Connecticut's leading the way in the Eastern Conference. How about them apples? Let's see how the West is doing. Los Angeles is in the middle of the pack. Looks like it. It looks like this WNBA is resembling the NBA. Interesting.
All right.
All right.
Mike's gonna get it. They're gonna get it.
So. NBA Finals, Game 1. Holy shit. I can't believe we're actually here. Like, it has such a Super Bowl feeling, took forever to finally get here. Golden State was 3.5 point favorite, I want to say. Something like that. Let me check 3.5 point favorite. So the over-under, I didn't even really check. The over-under was 214. I guess they just forgot who was playing, because that doesn't make, unless they expect Boston to go cold because, like jitters or whatever. That's kind of like the only reason why I would expect that number to be so low. Here, let's check. Since we're not going to be betting the actual games rest, let's just check what the number will be. 215.5 for Sunday's game, which is also cool that we have. I kind of forgot how many days were in between finals games. Like, it really is like a 2-week event.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy. So, you mentioned, I think it was off camera, you followed Game 1 through highlights and this and that?
Yeah. So, Yeah, I seen that it was close, and I figured I was like, all right, yeah, like who's gonna kind of get the lead? And I expected it'd be Golden State because I'm like, I was saying off stream, I had a young viewer, and he was like, yeah, they just shot a lot of threes, and I was like, yeah, that's their game plan. So I was just like, if they're gonna shoot their way to victory, or are they gonna shoot themselves in the foot? Like,
yeah, like, very true.
And that's the way they've been living for like, what is it, past 4 years at least? Yeah, 4 or 5, 6. So yeah, that was just unfortunately the case this night, and 15 from Clay. That's, you definitely want to see that. Like,
I haven't even scrolled down that far yet, man, because I'm still looking at these quarter numbers. So like the first half of the game, almost like I kind of expected. And you know what, dude? The third quarter, kind of expected too. Boston really can't play the third quarter. They really can't. But what the fuck in that fourth quarter, man? Now that's my question. Yeah. When's the last time you seen Golden State put up that young 16 ball?
Me.
That young 4 squared. I haven't seen a number divisible by 4 evenly, where the other number is also 4 in a long time.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I mean, do we get? Yeah, once again, like, I want this box score, but for the quarter. Like, I want to see what they shot in the fourth. Like, how many shots did they take, and how many went in, how many did not? Because,
right, because you know what? Yeah, well, so the shot chart at the bottom, you can switch that to the fourth.
Oh, okay, I see. So you can kind of count it up yourself at that point.
Yeah.
Yep. So they missed all their threes, is what we're seeing. They missed all their threes.
For Golden State?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the team with like 7 X's in the 3, if not 8, because a lot of them are overlapping top of the key.
Yeah, so they're 2. I see they made 2, and then the rest.
Oh, I can see the circles. The circles are few and far between. They don't overlap at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's funny.
And Boston's only got 3 X's in the beyond the arc.
And then when you hover over the X, you get to see who it is.
For shame, the shame X.
Yeah.
Damian Lee, what the hell are you doing? Damian Lee shooting from that better. Yeah, I was gonna say 23 seconds. 23 seconds.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, at that point, okay, yeah.
That's the first one I click on. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. But yeah, and then they took some deep. I mean,
Draymond Green shot 424 in the fourth with a 30-foot shot. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I heard a lot of narratives about this game. My favorite narrative was that Al Horford, Marcus Smart, and Derek White will not shoot this good again, and that's just like awesome because it's so true, and they don't need to, because if simultaneously, odds are, I'm just gonna go forward, odds are #IAS, Jason Tatum's probably not gonna have a 3 for 17 game ever again. I mean, like, he's got some stinkers, but 3 for 17 is pretty much as bad as it gets. So as much as like these other guys ain't gonna step up that hard, this dude ain't gonna fall off that hard either. So for Jason Tatum to shoot 3 for 17 and for Boston to win by double digits, that's like, I think probably the least expected outcome of game 1.
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely, because I was like, dang, like, and y'all, I was like, if I'm not mistaken, I'm like, they got Golden State, right? And I'm like looking at this box score, and I'm just like, all right, let's see what we're wrong, because I knew Steph was going off. I was like, all right, Steph is doing this thing. But yeah, it's like, yeah, when usually that's what happens when one star, or if the star is not doing the job, like, there's sometimes role players who like pick up enough slack and get their points basically, and it's just like, all right, let's get that same W we would have got had you just had these points.
Yeah. Now here's the thing, man. I have, we've been doing this thing, and I've watched a lot of Boston basketball this postseason, and for the last 2 series, I don't remember if we did. I think maybe one time against. Oh yeah, okay, because we had to win games 6 and 7 against Milwaukee, and aside from those 2 games, we have not won 2 consecutive in the last 2 series. So I could easily, and I hate saying this, I could easily see this being like 1-2 Golden State going into game 4. Like, that's just how Boston plays. Like, they sometimes let that third quarter leak into game 2 and 3. So this is one of those, as much as I don't think that, that exact game 1 outcome will happen again, and, Jason can play better, these other guys can play worse, yada yada. I ain't counting nothing, man. Like, this was a blessing, and we'll take what we can get.
Exactly. Yeah, I felt the same way. I think the game 4 is going to be a pivotal one, because I think Golden State's going to come back, get this last one before having to go to Boston and still won, and then it's going to be up to Boston being like, can you win one on your home court before you got to go back? Now,
I will say this though: if Boston wins game 2, Boston in 4. They ain't even showing up, bro. They done. I'll say that. I'll call that right now. If somehow Boston comes out game 2, Boston in 4.
I would love to see that. Not really, but I would.
Right.
Be like that.
No, because that means that they beat the shit out of them physically, and they just couldn't recover, and they're just afraid. And they're like, all right, let's pack it in for next season. It would just be like weirdly enough, it would just. I don't think anyone expected the Mavs to beat Golden State, but I don't think anyone expected it to go down how it did. Like, they got whooped, and hard too. Like you knock off the defending runner-ups in convincing fashion. You make Booker and Paul and all of them look like nothing, and then you get made look like nothing on top of that. It's just be the exact same thing. Same thing. But from a defensive perspective, whereas Golden State out-offensed them, and then they, because Golden State should have won that 4-0, but they gave up on game 3, was it?
Yeah.
Or 4. No, they gave up because they gave up in game 4 because they knew the next game was going to be back in Golden State. So they gave up on that game, but it should have been a 4-0. So that's the only reason I'm saying it. And because I feel like the way that we broke Brooklyn by coming back, game 2 down 17, winning by 6. We'll never forget it. And they just they couldn't do, like, game 3 and 4 wasn't even close. So I just feel like it would go that route. But I don't think that we will win. I didn't think we would win game 1. I don't think we'll win game 2. I don't think it's going to go that way. I'm just thinking if, in the 10% of the time that we do win game 2, it's over. It's game over.
News articles, on sports stations, they're going to be licking their chops when that goes down. They'll be like, yo, boy, people going to be like, this is a troll. But no, have you come from under your rock? Like, no, They won for all. Like, who's seen this coming?
I mean, the only people that don't want that to happen are Warriors fans, Boston haters, and the NBA, who wants to make their 7-game money.
Exactly. Definitely that. So, I mean, and if that is the case, this would truly be like, this was one of the.
That would be iconic. No, that wouldn't be. That'd be iconic, and because game 1 was already iconic. Like, there was already a collapse from Golden State, like, by far, and it was a rise of Boston. It was not really anything but, because Boston held up in the first half, which is almost like unexpected. They went into the half, like, we didn't even mention, they went into the half leading by 2, which is kind of nuts. Like, how do you do that? How do you have Tatum make 1 or 2 shots? Curry has a career high first quarter, and they go in down 2, and then once again, Boston been down 17-1 against really good teams before. So them being down by 15, it was definitely when I was feeling like, I'm not shocked. I'm not happy, but I'm not shocked. And then I was shocked. And then from that point forward, I was shocked.
Right, it was like, oh my gosh, they're really doing it and then keeping it up.
Once I saw them go from like down by 15 to be like within 4, I was like, ooh, that's not good. Because Golden State started to look like us at the end of the last game against Miami, where we just kind of like, let them come back.
I was sitting there like, don't let it be you. You ever heard Mark say that? That's it. Don't let it be you. Do not be on the wrong side of history.
Nah, man. They let it be them that night, and so it's gonna be an uphill battle if Boston can continue just nailing their threes. Like, they nailed a lot of threes early on. So, like, first few shots of the game, Marcus Smart shooting from 3, and like I even was like, no. Even like the first one goes in, and I'm like, oh my, all right, we got lucky. Second, I'm like, no. Second one goes in, and I'm like, all right, we got lucky again. Like, I really don't like to see, especially because I'm still having flashbacks to that game 7 where he missed those 5 in a row. Damn near gave up the game. We can be sitting at home right now. So, yeah, very nerve-wracking stuff, very scary stuff. It's one of those things where the outcome is the outcome, but it could have so easily gone any number of ways. Even in that last game, we didn't even talk about that last game 7, Jimmy taking that one shot, man. That 1-3 goes in, bro. It's pretty much game over. It's pretty close to game over.
It was funny to me because I meant to click on it, but people was already making memes of, like, I guess, I don't know if he had a certain reaction, like, on the way to the tunnel. But I ended up seeing that eventually, though. Like, somebody else had that take of like shit, he had taken that shot. Of course, that was another easy article.
Everyone's got always something to say. Everyone's always got something to say about that.
Yeah, but of course, they got a job to do, and they're just like, that's the easiest article to write up. It's just like perfect, So yeah, and when I seen it, I was like, part of me is like, yeah, and then part of me is like, no, because it's like, part of me is like, of course, you're the man, so who's going to question you to take the shot? But the other part of me is just like, who has the better 3-point shooting? And it's like Max or who else am I trying to think? Maybe Hero, like somebody else that has like odds closer to you, but like a little bit more consistent, or for sure a high percent. So I was like, probably those Heat fans are probably like, I wish you passed it to them, because it looked to me, it looked kind of like a little rush too. Kind of was just kind of like as he was kind of going down, he was kind of probably pondering in his mind, like, do I want to jump up, spot up and shoot, there's only so much time left, or just like try to make an open 3. And it's just kind of like, when he got to the 3, it's kind of like, I got enough space, like, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's your odds. That's what you gotta live between you, your team, and your coach. So.
Pretty much. I mean, some games come down to it.
Yeah. So that was that. But we shall see if another game 7 Jimmy's gonna do the same thing. I think that the opportunity presents itself. So.
Someone mentioned, and I wasn't watching the year that it happened, but that he did something really similar the year. I don't know if it was before. I want to say it was 2 years before, when Kawhi was in Toronto and ended up making like that crazy shot. You remember that one? Like falling out of bounds 3 to end the game. So like Butler, like I had heard reported that he had taken a shot very much like the Boston one that he just missed, and made it on the other end in that Toronto game that Kawhi had to overcome with that even more incredible shot. So it's just the kind of thing that Jimmy does. So he probably will take it again, is like all I'm getting at.
Oh, you definitely. I think because he had a chance to either say he does it, like he's gonna take that shot, like it was his choice, or he was gonna be like. And
I seen people on Reddit 2 minutes saying like, okay, yeah, but if he makes this though, like everyone's anointing him to be like new face of the East. I mean, he makes that shot, he goes to the finals because of it. People would be pretty hot on Jimmy, and they already love him, so. Yeah.
I mean, he would have a case though, because him and Giannis have been like the most consistent with their teams, like in trying to like bring them far. I feel like in these recent years, so. I mean, he had a case, but he didn't.
I mean, I'm stepping back and I'm looking at it though now, man. Like this Boston team, it's looking pretty deep, and like we mentioned before, their age is almost their gift and their curse. Like they're only going to get a little old, they're only going to get a little better year after year. So if they can keep that core together, I'm not really sure what the salary cap and this and that looks like. I'm sure they're all young and underpaid. I bet Horford's probably one of the better paid players. I'm sure Tatum hasn't gotten a contract yet. I don't think maybe Smart's probably the closest one. I think he's probably the oldest of the bunch, maybe like a couple years above Tatum, maybe 1 year above Jalen. So think they'll be able to keep it together for a while. Like they're starting to look like that, you know, Miami of the North, that, you know, Phoenix of the North, just deep roster. Where like, cause I'm looking down, it's like, well, once we got Robert Williams back, it's like, man, because Derek White can have some good games, and Grant Williams can have some really good games, and now that we got Robert Williams having some really good games, all we need is Peyton Pritchard to hit like, you know, 6-7 points a game, and we got 8 people.
Exactly. Yeah, and I believe a team like this can win. Like, you just, you know, you need your star players to do their job.
Apparently not. 3 of 17. Apparently not. Now the one thing we didn't touch on yet though was his 13 assists. So like it's kind of like, you know, we were talking about Roller Bowl earlier. If y'all haven't played Roller Champions, silly little game, you know, but long story short, there's a lot of shooters, and if you're not shooting, you got to be playing defense. And so this isn't defense, you know, but the assists, like you got to contribute, I guess I should say, and he was contributing for sure. 55 rebounds, 13 assists, only 2 turnovers, only 2 fouls. So he's efficient on the floor, but just not from the scoring perspective. But if you got Al Horford going to give you 26, and who needs it?
Exactly, you know, like kind of prime.
I mean, that's his, what was it? I think game 1 against the Heat, Horford had some big numbers, like his 30-point game, something like that. So, like, it was either game 1 or game 2, like one of those early games. I kind of forget exactly how the series went, but actually, I think it was game 1. It was game 1. We won game 1, and then they won game like 3 or something, or game 2 and 3. I forget, because I remember we won home court and then they won it right back. Is like all I'm trying to say. So I think they must have won game like 2 and 3, or just maybe 2, and then we won 3, then they won 4, something like that. But either way, I remember Horford having like game 1 was really good, but he didn't really do anything else for the rest of the series. So this could be like that. You know, they could now game plan for Al and this and that. And as long as he can just get in those defensive numbers, and we can have, you know, a few more like Grant. See that now? Here's the thing too that no one else mentioned. When I was hearing a lot of people talk about this game, like they're talking about Jason Tatum having a bad night. You know, the 3 Derek White, Derek White, Marcus Smart, and Al Horford had a good night. But no one mentioned that Grant Williams had 0 points, and he also had like a 30-point game in the last in the Bucks series. I want to say like game 6 in the Bucks series. He went off. So we do have a deep enough roster that we can have, you know, a random 6, 7, 8 man go off on any given night.
Exactly. Which is very true.
Which has been nice. So
yeah, it definitely it's nice for the role players. I mean, the stars, and then see your role players like pick up the slack if you just.
Udoka is looking like he can. It's weird when you see someone come in and you like they're unknown, like from a coaching. It's like you just don't know, like they have no reputation, like nothing precedes them. So it seems like now finally he's starting to, like, you know, look like a coach, I guess you can say. Like if you can come back from all these deficits, then I guess you're kind of a coach, right? Because we've come back from a lot of deficits, and they haven't all been at the half. Like a lot of them have been between the 3rd and the 4th quarter. So
yeah, I would say with him, he like I feel like one of the reasons why he only got this was because I think he did manage to get under Pop for the Spurs. But anyway, he came from Spurs for sure last before he retired. So it was just like, okay, like you could have some kind of like safety with that. Like kind of feel like, okay, he learned from a good organization.
Right.
Like, you know, he'll bring whatever that and then whatever he needs to learn, you know, to here because Pop was great. Whoever's around Pop is great too, you know. So he came from a great place. And,
it's kind of funny too. I'm looking right now. I see the 3-seeded Boston Celtics against the 2-seeded Golden State Warriors. I feel like this has got to be like the first time in a minute where there hasn't been a 1 seed in the finals.
It sounds like it, but we mentioned before, we haven't keeping up that much.
Right. On like all the long-term stats, but
yeah,
I feel like last year, like Phoenix had to have been the 1 seed. I know the Bucks were the 1 seed, right? The Bucks were definitely the 1 seed last year.
Yeah,
I don't know. Was Toronto the 1 seed? Oh wait, no, it was Lakers the year before, right? And y'all definitely were not the 1 seed, but Miami was. I think Miami was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if we check back, I bet of the last 20 years, there's probably only been like, I would wager over under like 2.5 on the amount of times that a 1 seed, didn't make it.
Yeah, probably so.
So,
2002? Yeah, possibly.
Very interesting matchup that we got, because they do seem like the two best teams at the moment. After Booker forgot how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Man, Chris Middleton, I don't think he was ever even like gonna come back. So it's not like he got injured. Like he'd been out.
Like I think they all knew. Like, we're gonna just tell the news. Like, we're gonna try to have you come back, but it's just, we're just gonna think long term. Like, rather we just have you for your safety and all that kind of stuff, because it's at the end of the game, it's a game of basketball. Like, you're gonna retire one day,
So T-Mac, well, I guess before I ask you this question, where should people be going right now?
To the description to join the Discord.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah, no, I was like, how do I want to say it? And I was just like, either way, I was like, whether I say Discord first or say description first. So
we can get in there for some of our get ready for our NFL predictions. I mean, bro, it's already June, so you got literally one full month, and then beginning of August we're gonna have the preseason, so it's like 7 weeks away. I guess it's a little more than that probably, but I forget what I'm gonna look that up right now, what the first preseason day. Actually, I got Yahoo right here, so I can just click on NFL. It really is gonna be coming up.
It's exciting news. It's so funny. Like I figured, I was like, I'll be like the rest of America and be like, yay, football or NBA. But I didn't know it would be this early.
No, man, actually, honestly, not gonna lie, after doing the NBA and then doing NFL, it's a little bit easier to do this show on NBA because of just the roster sizes and like how many players are actually in the league and how many impactful players are in the league. It's just too hard to keep track of everything in football. Like, it's gonna take me forever to learn every player on every team, and then by the time I do, it's gonna all rotate. We're looking at 8/11. August 11th will be the first. I think that's a Thursday. Yep, Thursday. We got 2 games. We have New York Giants at New England. We have Tennessee Titans at Baltimore Ravens. It's nice to say those names again. It's nice to see the logos again on the screen. Already, I'm feeling happy. Man. So it's like, so in 1 week it'll be 2 months. So like 9 weeks, I guess. 9 weeks.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like, any other day, like when I first got heavy into football, like that break, I was like, oh my gosh, is it here again? I feel like,
yeah, for real.
The commercials that always targeted the NFL fans. Like, what are you gonna do during your off season?
Well, what's funny is I still have, and I only watched the first game of. I did finish the official rewatch, but I'm just gonna probably go back and rewatch the rest of the last season. I watched the first game, which I think was Dallas at Tampa Bay. Thursday Night Football to kick off, the 2021-2022 season. So I'll go rewatch it, see what I can see. That'll be my way to try to learn the league, try to learn the players again. Because it all got saved on my YouTube kind of like DVR because I had it checked off. It just saved it in my videos of you might want to watch this again later. And it's like, I do. Right. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, learning players and that's gonna be the path. It'll be like, we're not gonna be stressing over unders. It's gonna be like which key player again was it?
No, I mean the over under is gonna be crazy for football. If I'm bad at it for NBA, then because with one turnover, one this, one that, you got the difference of 7-14 points, just that here and there, and the numbers are so much smaller. When you have each team taking 60 shots a game, you have a few crazy plays on a handful of them. It's whatever. You have 1 or 2 crazy plays in the NFL game, the whole score can go awry.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Too quick.
Too quick. This shall be fun.
Yep. Follow, subscribe, all the good stuff. Share with your friends.
All the good stuff. Please turn bell notification on after subscribing.
I know people say that at the end of this episode. This ain't the end of the episode, guys. Don't turn it off yet, because I got a big question for T-Mac. One big question.
Yeah.
So what's your call, man? We've all got, now this is what everyone wanted. Everyone just said, man, I just need to see like one game of the series and then I can, get a good feel for it. So now that we've all seen the game or seen the highlights, seen like how it all played out, what's your call for the series? Like, what's your games, your who's gonna win, your this or that?
I'm still sticking. I'll give you Boston team before this game and after 2 wins. So I'm still sticking Golden State 4-2. I think I could go to game 6.
That's a big call. I actually, despite all, it's funny too because we were talking. Was it on air or off air that I was saying that Boston was gonna, if they win game 2, they're gonna destroy him?
Off air.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm sticking with my pick too of Boston in 7 because I know how this Boston team plays. Like I gotten ahead of myself too many times. Like, ooh, looking good. We just won game 5. We can close this up game 6 for Miami. Nope. I'm still proud of us for stringing those 2 wins together in game against the Bucks, but I still haven't forgotten those 2 games that we gave up. The one where Marcus Smart kind of rolled it right off the rim. We could have had that Al Horford put back right off the hands. I want to say it was game 2 against the Bucks. And then we had one more game that we just let slip between our fingers. So like we could have won the Bucks 5-1 or 4-1. I mean, so we could have beat them 4-1. We could have beat Miami 4-2. So I still do think in the end it will be Boston 4-3. My bold claim was if we win game 2, that's just over 4-0. It's out.
That's definitely
it's done. It's a hashtag IAS, but it's over, man. There's no chance. Like I seen how Steph looks on his face when he gets all pouty. It'll be over. He might as well have that mouthpiece in the trash. He ain't gonna need it. Replace the mouthpiece with a bib.
Man, it's gonna be looking at Clay like Splash Brothers, not Splash Brother.
He's like, yeah, you got Wiggins.
Show up.
What? Which he said? Oh, I thought you had a different brother now.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, you got Jordan Poole. Splash, splash, baby, in the pool.
Right. Splash 9 points. Yeah, definitely. We're definitely making the splash. That's it. We call it Splash Brothers, but we really mean it's tidal waves. Like,
yeah.
We looking to really make some mess here.
Yo, yeah, you. I thought you almost said it. I misheard you, but the Splash Brothers are good, but they can't beat the Smash Brothers. Boston, baby. Let's go. I mean, yeah, but here's my thing, man. Is, yeah, this Boston, if they could just show up, like I don't know if they realize this too, but if they just like show up the next 2 games, they don't have to play 7. They can all go on vacation early with the ring. So it'd be nice if they would just not do this series like they did the last series. Like take it serious. Play the whole time.
Hey, like make it like if Game 7 should only be happening if like it truly was a defensive like you can still have high scoring, but like literally like it was just like he better offense over defense. We've definitely seen plays like that where it's like I literally was in his face like hand up like what more can I do?
But we've also seen Golden State score like 80 points in a game before, so they could still put up one of those games. You never know.
You never know. But definitely don't be surprised.
All right, so who do you got for your MVP of the series?
This series?
No, not this series. Next series. The last series. Who do you got for the MVP of the last series?
I'll just be funny to say. Initially, I'm like Steph. Could Andrew Wiggins probably get it?
He could.
I feel like he could. He could sneak in, but I'm at this point I think it's Steph. 34 to 20. They both had the same amount of rebounds, so Andrew don't really have that.
Fair enough, but wrong, and interesting and hard to go with. Because at the end of the day, they're going to be looking at the ups and the downs, and they're going to look at that one line that was always consistently up, and they're going to say, Jaylen Brown is always doing the same thing night in and night out, isn't he? Let's give him the MVP. So I'm going with young JB.
Okay. Just way you said that, just for the reason randomly, just made me think they'd be like, or they're gonna pull the Magic Johnson and be like, even though you guys lost, we're gonna give this. They were like, no, I think they mentioned that. They were like, no, we're never doing that again. But I'm glad they did do it though, because there were some moments where it's just like,
if they wanted to give the Larry Bird one to Jimmy, I wouldn't have been mad, because like he was hobbling out there, like he was the clear most valuable player in that series. Like he had done more for his team than any other one player did for their team. So I mean, I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah.
There's a couple finals where if they gave it to LeBron, I wouldn't have been mad.
Yeah, I feel like for those new ones now, I feel like they could think like that for that. But like for the NBA one, like let's keep it to like whoever won, like somebody on the winning team.
I guess. I mean, the whole awards to me are gonna be stupid to begin with, so I actually don't care. They can give it to Mickey Mouse for all I care.
Oh, it's just to make you feel more special.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see. Are there any other stupid things that we can gamble on that they don't really matter, but someone will be the deciding factor on? I guess that's about it, because everything else has already been decided, right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm trying to think.
For the most part. But yeah. Alright, I guess okay, last thing would be what's gonna be your take for next game? Like, who's gonna go off? What kind of game are we looking at for game 2? Who's gonna have that big game? How's it gonna look? Who's gonna win the first half? Who's gonna win the second half?
Okay, so we'll say, well, I feel like Golden State could win both halves, but first might not be by that much. And then I'm looking for Clay to actually have 20, and Steph can have a mid-20s to 30s, or either one, and Poole could possibly have a little bit more, but I think those two would just be enough, because they lose just 12, so just a little bit more defense possible, but that's probably kind of asking a lot for this offensive team.
Yeah, I just think the whole game's gonna look different. Like, I don't think any of these numbers will look even remotely similar, except for Mr. Consistent in number 7. But maybe like Smart will give you 18, but he's not gonna do it 4 or 7 from the 3, and he's definitely not gonna do it by nailing 2 threes within the first 3 minutes of the game. Right. So I think that overall they'll probably, the one consistent factor may be Horford going down defensively. I think hopefully he can stop them in the paint, and that's it. But I think that a lot of these offensive numbers hopefully look different. Hopefully Jason does better. He can take some shots away from Derek White. I'm not saying Derek White needs to take it away, but we needed him to step up. Hopefully we don't need him to step up. But that's all I can say, that I think will look a little different. Probably Golden State will win. I think we're probably both thinking that. But we both probably thought that the first time, so who knows?
Yeah, I was like, I just didn't know how much. I was like, this is a decent Boston team, and like they can win. Like as we've seen, like I wouldn't count on it to be double digits anymore, or like as much too many more. But I never lost faith. Like, I know y'all can, because just for the simple fact that I've been mentioning beat a dead horse. Like, this is a 3-pointer shooting team. Like, live and die by a 3. So
both teams.
Yeah, but for this one, I think we both could agree Golden State more, just by a little bit at least. So it's just like, if you miss that long ball, and it kind of get tipped, now you on the fast break, and kind of they get tipped to where it's like you don't have everybody set back yet, so there's pros and cons to the 3-ball.
But either way, I'm just glad that it's actually a series, because I think a lot. I don't think, bro. I listened to a lot of predictions because I was very curious what everyone was. Basically, like, I was listening to a lot of people because I was just searching. You know how people like to get in their echo chamber and just hear what people want. They want to listen to what people they want to hear. Like, they want to listen to people talk about what they want to hear. I was looking for someone to say, oh yeah, Boston's got a really good chance. And I don't think I heard one person say that. Maybe like literally like one or two people were like, oh yeah, I think they could. And I think they were only doing it because they just wanted to be the contrarian of the room, be like, I'm gonna be the one. I would say 97% of the takes I heard were Golden State in 6. Like, that was the exact like, Golden State in 6, Golden State in 6. I think Golden State in 6. It's like, it's a very safe-ish pick. They just dismantled the Mavericks, and Boston in Miami looked so sloppy that, you know. But I think the main thing is that kind of was the one, you know, hope factor that ended up kind of playing true was that Miami is just a better defensive team than Golden State, so that's why it looks so bad. Overall, you got these two really tight teams that are just on each other the whole game, and so unless Golden State's going to repeat exactly that, both teams are going to get a little more open looks. I mean, I can, and also, I know this, they probably didn't show this a lot earlier, but like, Boston wasn't guarding Steph like at all in the first quarters. Like, he went off because he had open looks. Like, he's probably not going to get that again the rest of the series. Like, I don't know like how their picks and their switches and this and that are going to look, you know, going forward, but they adjusted in the second half, and I think that this could be a lower, I think that for sure too, like lower scoring. Like, I bet that both teams, I bet the under for sure on this 20 or 215.5 for my hashtag IAS you know, observancy.
Right.
It just looks.
Yeah, I can see that. It really just.
Both teams had open looks, mad open looks.
I mean, yeah, because I was like, how many open looks? How are open looks for sure? But if the closed looks,
right.
The ones, if they go down, like I said, it's always an extra point, and then so many extra points get added up. So. Just like once that starts building, then there's a lot of stuff start coming into play, like mental and all that stuff. So
I'm looking. So Boston was third. The one thing I kind of didn't really realize or look at was how many free throws were taken. Boston took 16. Golden State took 15. I feel like it's a pretty low number. I feel like I didn't see the teams at the line very often, because if you think about that, that's only really like. If you get on average, call it like, you know, 2, and sometimes it's an and 1, but there was not a lot of driving to the rim, not a lot of fouls after the play. So the 6 you can say 6 for Boston and then 6 for Golden State. So they didn't really spend a lot of time with the line. Is like all I'm really getting at. So not that, like, that could change too. You could have a little more driving down, a little less shooting out, but we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we could say with that, like, definitely making your shots at the free throw can definitely help you beat a high octane offense team like Golden State, because clock stopped, you know, so that kind of helps them, and possibly you too. First, should benefit you if you can make the shot. So it's just like, cool, we made a point while the clock stopped, you know. So you definitely want to have a 81% or higher kind of free throw kind of night, you know, versus their 73, which is not too far behind, but still, it's just like the fact that they were still that close. So like, you know, they were trying to keep up that, so they make that category just like non-existent. Like, you gotta be somewhere else too.
But yeah, man, that's all about with these 2 games. It's about as much as I can squeeze out of it. I'm not sure if you had any other additional thoughts, or if, some closing thoughts, or what else we got.
No, just see what this game 2 is looking like. Is at Golden State again? If not mistaken, right?
Yes, it is. Yep.
And
2-2, 1-1-1.
Yeah, we'll see. If it's the 1-2 after in a few days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's just see. Like, by the time we're back next Friday, that should be after Game 3, but right before Game 4, if I am estimating correctly.
Yes, next one's Sunday, and
then Wednesday.
So June 8th.
You know, but then that's what, right? But then I'm just making sure that they don't play again on Friday. They play again. On Friday. They do play again on Friday. Oh, because they've been taking 2 days off between. That's the reason why I figured they would have done that again. And this will be the first time they only take 1 day off. So by the time we speak again, it will be post Game 4.
Yes. Yeah.
And we will have a much better idea as to how this series is going to go. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll be 2-2.
Oh well, yeah. 'Cause I was like, yeah. If it's 2-2, it's like, well, it's like who's going to?
It'll just depend on how it's 2-2. Like if there's also the one last thing that I didn't check. Everyone's good on injury, right? No new injuries, nothing fresh there. Everything seemed pretty good as far as I was concerned. Correct?
Yeah. Now I'm like, the only injury I got on my mind is Alexander. Sadly,
Alexander,
who you know, and I don't know how to say his last name with a Z, but in tennis, because the French Open is coming to the end, and Rafael Nadal is still looking like the Clay King, and sadly, had a nice 2 sets against one of the 5 up and coming. I'll just say 5, just the number out there. But the new blood they're ready. They're looking at Nadal, Jokic, and Federer and Murray like pass the torch.
Yep.
They're like, we're here. we're knocking at your door. We're ready to put you in retirement homes. Like we got it from here. And I'm glad to see like they've been consistent. Like they've been the ones rocking the 1 through like 4 seed, and like you don't really. Well, Jokic I think has number 1 seed, but pretty much they're for sure in the top 8. Like,
are we getting confused again? Isn't Jokic the basketball player?
Man,
isn't it Djokovic? Or is it Jokic?
Yeah,
Which one?
Or I might not be saying Djokovic. That's
it's Djokovic is the tennis player, and it's Jokic is the basketball player.
Yeah,
you're missing the V.
Yeah,
you're saying Jokic. Yeah.
In my head, I was like, I'm saying Djokovic, but yeah, I probably was saying Jokic.
Yeah, I'm like, nah. I'm pretty sure I've done this.
And
before.
that's why I liked it. Like ever since I had seen it when they kind of started to say like Joker.
Right.
I was like, yeah, just say that.
Right.
But yeah, unfortunately, that one of the new bloods, he on his way of trying to stop Rafa from creating more history. He just he went a little too ham on that clay court, and I didn't really go into this to see if it was it just seemed like a twisted ankle kind of thing. And I shouldn't say just a twisted, but like it was in the ankle area for sure.
Damn.
So thankfully, like nothing nothing like literally like injury, like leg broken, like you clearly see like the physical thing. It seemed like more internal thing. So he's able to come back out on the court and actually do a salute off for the walkover and give Rafa the victory. It's just like,
but he couldn't come back. He couldn't keep playing.
No, no. Nobody wants to put him through that. Like, man's out here 2 crutches trying to catch his 70-mile forehand hit. Like, nah.
I feel that.
He's like, he's pretty sure he was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. Like, I definitely not. That's it. Let's go back on the plane, get to rehabbing. He's thinking about trying to get ready for Wimbledon if possible.
Fair enough.
For sure, U.S. Open, because that's September. So at least a couple months. If not, Australia Open will be waiting.
Well, yeah, I will contribute where I can, but you'll see us back here in a couple weeks after every episode, or we'll keep being here weekly. May not have the most to bring you, but we'll be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, cool, man.
Appreciate you guys being here.
Yes, sir, as always.
Once again, just appreciate if you like, subscribe, share with friends, family. And,
let us know what you think about the music. Gonna try and throw some music in here. If you guys have any suggestions for something copyright free, send it our way.
Yes, as we try to find something to put in the background, because
I'll find something, but I'm sure it'll probably be pretty basic to start off.
But just to have something, we're always open to suggestions. So.
Cool, man.
Well, that's that.
Until next time.
Guys, next episode.